What's going on, everybody? It is King of Kicks here. I'm here with Laced Vet for the first episode of the Hump Day Hustle podcast.
Hump Day!
Today, we are going to be going through an introduction of how we both started reselling from point A to Z, and we're going to go over our basic story. So hopefully you guys can learn from it and gain some clarity on who we are and what our story is. So, Sean, do you want me to start or do you want to go ahead?
Yeah, you go ahead, my brother.
Okay. And if you want to if you're looking for any clarity during this story, you can ask questions or anything like that if you think there's anything you want me to add. So basically though, when I was in sixth grade, I really it kind of didn't start out wanting to be a sneakerhead. It was like the cool kids in school had cool sneakers. And so I wanted to be cool. So I wanted cool sneakers, but my mom couldn't afford to get me the $300, $200 Kobe's and LeBrons that were popular at the time. And so during holidays and Christmases and all that, I would ask for shoes and I would buy friends' shoes for like $30. And then I would
let me ask you this real fast, bro. So you're saying this is about 2011, 2012, isn't it?
Yeah. Whenever KD.
Nike basketball, baby. KD4. Yeah, the KD4. Oh, man. I don't mean to stop you, bro.
No, you're good. KD's and that's like my favorite shoes ever. Like I have my KD 7 collection, my KD's 6s, my LeBron 11s. That's my favorite LeBron. Yeah. So
that was literally the last good one that he made.
Yeah, I won't wear anything after that. Okay, the 12s, there's an elite version of the 12 and it's all white. Right. And that
I love the 10. See, I had all of the 10s, bro. Every one of the 10s.
You know the prism colorway, the gray one with the teal colors and it's like a diamond look. Yeah, that was my first LeBron I ever had.
That was beautiful. It was almost had a tie-dye look to it, right? It had different color fade in and out. That was a beautiful. The 9 too. The 9 and the 8, 9, and 10. I had so many LeBrons, man.
I have the South Beach.
Still have them too. That's freaking sick. Yo.
Well, I didn't keep them. I just rebought all of them this year. I was I want my good Nike basketball stuff back because they're never gonna retro it probably. Not all of it at least. I know we just got the LeBron 8s, but
it's very minimal though. You know what I'm saying? It's not like it was a big deal. The Miami Nights, that was a legendary one for me.
Yeah,
for the LeBrons. The Miami Night was huge. So when that one came out, I got that one again too.
It's crazy how they don't go for anything.
It's crazy, man.
It's crazy. Back in the day, that would have been.
Dude, back in the day, are you kidding me? Back in the day, I bought that shoe, several pairs. It came out funny. LeBron at the time, he did a basketball tournament, and I want to say it was in South Korea that he does a lot over there, right? And they released them over there, a small amount of them, and those people were selling them on eBay right away, right? And they were selling them for $250, because at the time the retail was probably only $140 for a low top. It was big money. So I bought up some pairs of them. I told my brother, I said, hey, you need to get a couple pairs of those. He was like, nah, I'll wait till they come out in the United States. It never came out in the United States. That was the only place that they released. I think maybe one Miami store had them, something like that. So I sold those pairs that I paid $250 for $1,850.
For $1,850?
There was a time where the Miami Night 8 low was about $2,000, bro, on eBay. I remember one of them clear as day. The guy sent it to me, PayPal invoice, and he even included the fees because he wouldn't do gift.
That's insane. That's more than I was
it was 19 something, bro. He paid me. He lived in Hawaii. I shipped it right to him, bro. It was one of the better flips that I ever had,
That's better than my best flip for sure.
And now they're worthless though. You know what I'm saying? That original one might have value just for the,
but not even if you got to find the right buyer for it. Because I have
this one here is not worth nothing, right? I haven't looked at it in a while.
No, it goes for retail, I think.
Retail. That's crazy. You know what this game is though? What have you done for me lately? Yeah. That's what it is. And LeBron ain't made good shoes in a long time. So you can retro them all you want,
I think it's now they make them. It's the same way Jordans suck now. It's all about performance enhancement. You know what I mean? It's what materials work best for on the court, which is cool. But I still think it's I
was hoping that they were going to retro the Kobe's, man. And then they had a falling out with his wife, whatever.
I was never into Kobe.
What's that?
I was never into Kobe's. I
never into Kobe's. I liked them for playing basketball. I was never into Kobe myself as the player because I'm a Spurs fan. Yeah. There's no way you can like Kobe as a Spurs fan because he kicked our ass all the time.
Right. His last shoes that he released, the 10s and the 11s, the high top ones, they were just coming. they were just coming out when I got into sneakers. So like,
that's dope.
Yeah, so that's the only ones I like are the high top ones because that's the only ones I saw growing up. But all the older pairs, I was too young to like know about them. So because I could only see what was in the stores, and what was in the stores was LeBron 11s, KD 6s and 7s, and then Kobe 10s, and that was it.
That was good times, bro. There's a picture. I don't know if you see it. There's a picture I post of me all the time in one of my original storage units that I was selling out of. And it was in the stack behind me. I'm holding two Yeezy Nike 2s, Nike Yeezy 2s, you know.
Gosh, that's crazy.
I think I had the pure platinum in one hand and maybe the solar in the other.
Yeah.
But behind me is nothing but Nike basketball boxes.
Oh, really?
Because there was a time that, even Jordans, they kind of took a back seat to the Nike basketball.
Nike basketball was money for a while.
It was running it. It was Nike. Yeah. It couldn't miss. I mean, even like I was buying more up tempos that were killing.
Tempos,
pennies. There was pennies that were dropping that were killing. It was good. It was a good time. There was so many different shoes to whereas now it's like either Jordan or a Yeezy. You know what I'm saying? There's not really.
Yeah, it sucks too because the colorways back then and just like the creativity of these designs. Like, hold on,
what happened? What happened, bro? Oh, you about to make me grab something too?
So these are my two favorites that I got Nike basketball. So, and I just finally got these this year.
What you got?
All right, so for the LeBron, this is my grail. When I finally got these, I got them at SneakerCon Dallas for $280, and I had them iced so that they look brand new. So I got these.
Do you know about that shoe?
Yeah, bro. When I was growing up, I saw one on a wall in a shop once, and I was like, "That's the craziest thing I've ever seen in my whole life." Like, and then this shoe, I actually had this one when it came out. It's the KD 7 Elite. It's personally a lot of people don't like it, but it's probably my top 10 shoes of all time. It's just I love the color on feet. Yeah, on feet.
No, I think the KD, that one I think was one of the versions that I made. I used to make Nike IDs on the KDs all the time. That LeBron is the one that you had to play PlayStation to win it, right?
So it's the 2K14.
That's what it was. Yeah.
You had to be on the game to get a code or something to buy it on Nike.
I remember but back then those went for crazy money during that time.
$1,000, I believe.
I remember that. I remember seeing that one. And what funny enough is that same model, the LeBron that they dropped, and they came out overseas first. People were paying.
I have it, my collection.
People were paying $1,200, $1,500 for them, bro. And now, what are they like retail, right?
Nothing. I mean, I bought my pair for $200 BNDS.
Oh, this is the shoe I grabbed since we was talking about it.
Okay. That shoe's hard. I have two pairs of those in different colors in my room right now.
These bitches right here.
That glow in the dark on the bottom.
And you know what was dope about them though? Is that every pair that I had every colorway of these in my personal collection, but I had my man Big A Customs cut all the ankles off. So it was only like this.
And how'd they look?
Oh, dude, crazy. They look, that's how I met Big A Customs was from, he used to do that back in the day.
That was back in the day then, huh?
So I had they had the Miami Hurricane color one, like that high top. You know what I'm saying? I think it was called Illusion maybe.
I believe so, yeah.
Those ones chopped up were amazing, bro.
So I like those a lot, and I have the black and white pair in my room, but I just don't ever wear it because it's not personal. I was gonna keep it, but they're just so big. I feel goofy looking. You know what I mean?
If you're not playing, I actually wore that same pair, the Maestro.
Yeah.
My original pair that I had that I hit retail, I wore them in the basketball league that year on base. That's all I wore was Kobe's. Those high top.
Are they good balling shoes?
They actually are. I mean, I think it would be hit or miss for some people. It gives you the utmost ankle and Achilles support. That was the purpose of them, you know. But it can be a lot. The shoe is like a lot to wear, though. You know.
They're fire though. If you wear them right, they look good. It's an on-court shoe for sure, though, or a photo.
I guess it's kind of like the Back to the Future, the Marty McFlys. I'm like, I don't know how do you wear those, bro?
That's what I call a shelf shoe. You don't wear that. You put it on the wall and you look at it. You know what I mean? That's not something.
Unless you on stage rapping with Lil Baby or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
We got so sidetracked from what we meant to do on this, but you know what? That's the beauty of it.
I know.
We're gonna get back to about all the time. You know, we didn't even make it 20 seconds into our intros.
It happens every time. Okay, so I'll get back to it. So anyways, I wanted those shoes. I couldn't get them. And those shoes we just talked about are all the stuff that I wanted that I couldn't get. And so my friend gave me a pair of KD7 eggnogs, and it was like the Christmas colorway. And I bought those, resold them, and just went back and forth doing that for a while, like Plato's Closet, which is a consignment shop, thrift stores, like hitting that and just starting off. And then I got into a Facebook group locally, and it was before like Facebook groups were like a huge deal, but I got into one, and the guy that ran it, his whole thing was like he used to buy Jordans and stuff, wear them a couple of times, and then bless people in the group with steals. So he sold me my first Jordan, which was a French Blue 7, and then he sold me a pair of the high top Kobe's we were just talking about, and a couple more shoes, but they were like $50 a pair. And so he sold all that to me, and I flipped them, and that was like the first deal I ever did. And so for a few years after that, I was in high school at that point, still selling shoes now, and I was doing decent. You know what I mean? I was making money. I started working at the shoe cleaning kiosks in the mall, like the shoe MGK guys that would like stop you and clean your shoes.
Hey, yo, my man. Hey, my man. Hey, let me holler at you, my man.
Which was the best thing that ever happened to me. I've never learned more from anything in my whole life, like public speaking, negotiating, how to just be professional, and how to be like a chameleon. Because when you're talking to like a white family, you can't say certain stuff. And when you're talking to a dope boy, you can't say certain stuff. You have to talk a different way. So it taught me how to like really talk to my customers.
Versatile. Yeah.
Exactly. Definitely. You know what I mean? Which was hard for me at first because I was just a little white kid from the suburbs when I started working there. And they were like, bro, we got to teach you. So they had to teach me how to talk to these guys, which ended up helping me because that's like a lot of the customers that I deal with now are people of that background. So I have to be able to make them feel comfortable when they're talking to me. So anyways, I worked there, and I used that to pay bills and like save money and fund my reselling. And I just do from little deal, bulk deals, and working my way up. And eventually I can pay my bills. So I quit that job and I focus on reselling full time. And then I didn't drop out of high school, but I graduated 2 years early because I wanted to focus on my business. So I went to an accelerated program, which every city usually has one, but it's kind of more directed for kids that are not doing so hot and they just need to get out and start doing their thing because high school's not for them. But for me, I took advantage of it and was like, I'm just going to get out of here early. The work was easy. I got like 100 in every class and I got out. And so that's when a little bit after that, I met my bulk buyer, who I got to give credit to, has like really helped scale my growth because he's not paying as good as I could sell it to a person on the street for, but he's buying it immediately. You know what I mean? And it's in bulk and it's quick. And so me and him have really grown over the past 2 years together as like that's my guy. And it's crazy because I wouldn't even know what he looked like if he walked past me in a grocery store. But
the beauty of the internet, right?
Yeah. But
that's how it is. Every sneaker con that I go to or any show I go to, I will meet people that I've known for 20 years, bro. And this is the first time I've ever met them. There's people every show I go to, I meet somebody I've never met. And
and a lot of times because you and me post our face, they know what we look like, but they don't post theirs.
Not everybody. No, the average shoe person's page is just like a bunch of hands with a shoe. You know,
nobody makes content. So like guys come up to me and they're like, Zay, what's up? And I have to literally fake it. I'm just like, until I can maybe figure it out. And sometimes
I don't know who you are, but I love you because you respect me,
man. And I feel bad. I feel like I'm embarrassed. I'm like, gosh, I should know who you are. We talked a million. I've sold you 10 grand worth of shoes, and I don't know who you are. But it is what it is. But anyways, so I get from him. Me and him are working hard, and like pretty much from that point, I just scale everything. So for the past year now, what I've been focusing on is sneaker events every single weekend, like without a doubt, every single week. I think this will be the first weekend this weekend coming up that I don't go to one. And
you only drive to them, or you fly across the country?
I've only flown once, and it was for a family thing, like it's 5 years ago. I've never flown for a sneaker event. I've driven everywhere I know.
But you know what? That's the beauty right there. That's what I was telling my wife, is that's the beauty of Florida. You know, living in Florida, you got Atlanta around you.
Yes.
You got, all the way up and down Florida. You can go to Miami, Tampa, Orlando, West Palm, Jacksonville. It's great.
And I'm at the top of Florida, so I can go everything under, and then I can go Georgia, Texas, Alabama, straight up.
What's the furthest you went from home?
So probably Schaumburg, Illinois for SneakerCon Chicago, and I drove like 15 hours, but I did it at this is what was hard about is I had a full day, and then I got in my car at 11 p.m. at night, and I drove straight there. And so I got there at like 2 o'clock the next day, and I popped like 3 tires during that whole drive, and like I had to pull over and sleep, and like so it ended up being like a 16 or 17 hour drive just because of like all the stops I had to make and filling my tires up, and then because my tire was leaking on the drive, so I kept filling it up, and then went like 6 hours in, it just exploded on the interstate, and so just all that BS ended up making it like a 17-hour drive. And one time I drove straight to West Palm Beach, which was 8 hours, and then straight back. So it was like a 20-hour day for me that day.
Wow.
Yeah. My friends say I'm like, I should be a truck driver for all the miles I put on the car. Like I'd make more money doing that, but
You're on the go, bro.
I hate driving too. Like I'm good at it now. That's the problem is I'm good at it. And I'm good at like
mindless, when it gets mindless and mundane. I was going back and forth so much because I live everywhere around me is tax-free everywhere except for where I live. We got Rhode Island, Mass, New Hampshire. There's quite a few tax-free states. So obviously I try to do the most business in
sales tax.
What's that?
No sales tax?
No sales tax on clothes or shoes. Yeah. There's a lot of places up here that are like that. So especially Rhode Island is only about an hour from me. So I have for many years, forever, have always driven back and forth to there. I've done it so much that like I'll fall asleep now when I do it. It's so mundane,
Yeah. Yeah. And you learn little technique. That's the problem is I've learned how to make it easy. And so now I'm just like, whatever. My first no that I ever said was like, I'm not driving to Phoenix.
Oh, hell no.
I'm not driving to Phoenix.
Way.
It's 24 hours. You know what's crazy though is SneakerCon LA. I like right before the event, I decided not to, but I was like I was going to drive 35 hours with a trailer on my car to that event. And I just decided at the very last minute, I was like, I'm not doing
it. Now, do you ever do a table? You don't do it. You don't vend, right? You only buy.
Especially not now, bro. Like when I see my friends selling shoes now and like, I get to talk to them and I watch, I watch tables because I'm walking around all day buying. I know what's selling. Bro, now is not the right time to be selling at these events. And I don't want to say that because that's not good for me because I need people to be there selling, but stuff's not moving, man. Like SneakerCon Chicago, the last good event was SneakerCon Dallas. Market was high. Everybody was buying for it was a good, customers were buying a lot. So shops needed a lot. So everyone was buying. I think I sold like $50,000 worth of shoes that day. And it was garbage shoes too. And not only that, I was selling used Jordan 1 Volt Golds for DS prices over DS. So DS was at like 2 at the time. And I was selling used pairs for $220, $230 at SneakerCon Dallas. Like it was crazy. It was crazy.
That's probably because of the time of the year, right? When was that?
Because of the stimulus checks.
That was July or
something like that. It was like it was like 3 or 4. I don't know. Yeah, around 3 or 4 months ago.
Just to see how this SneakerCon ATL is going to be because
ATL is always good. Always.
Well, ATL, I went to the one last year. It was great. I'm just saying that it's a shitty time of the year, but ATL is different.
ATL is different, bro. That's one place that like people just even the small event that does like consistent events there. It's better than like any event. Like the Atlanta events are just fire. People show up. Like it's like just a culture there, I guess.
It's great. Yeah, I was gonna say it has a great fashion culture there, man. They are super deep into sneakers, streetwear, all of that.
And there's like 6 shops there, like in Atlanta alone.
Big ones too, right? So that's probably a lot of people there buying.
Yeah, and Request, in Charlotte, like Gabriel's and all them, they're moving to Atlanta. Like they're opening a shop in Atlanta. Like Atlanta's booming for sneakers. If I was gonna like move somewhere to like focus on selling sneakers, it would be Atlanta, 100%. Atlanta's the spot. And I've never gone in.
You're gonna mess around and make me get a damn trailer and go down there and vend.
Bro, but that's the thing is, you're right though about the time of year. Like because it's like I don't know, man. It's just weird. I'm excited to see though, because I know a lot of people will show up. That was the thing, bro. A lot of people showed up in Chicago. Not a lot of people spent money. It was very weird. And so, like my buddy who normally sells like tons of stuff, like didn't sell much at all. And it was like it sucked. And I felt really bad. And like I remember back in the day.
Rough. That's the thing is that it would be rough to go out, That's why I tell those guys anytime I talk to people at the tables, I know how much it goes into that. It's a lot of work.
It's not just the table cost.
No. Fuck that. That's the least
that's the cheapest part.
Yeah.
Because you got to pay gas and travel and
pay money.
Hotel.
The rest of it takes years off your life, time,
Yeah, for real.
And that shit is taxing, man. These guys that come to the show with 400 or 500 shoes, that shit takes a lot.
And they don't even really, and I'm gonna be honest, bro, it's not even worth it. Like their time would be better spent like on eBay or making a website or something, bro. I'm like, I can't. And another thing, dude, I see like constantly on Facebook is these guys go to these events, they don't sell a single pair, and then they make a post, and then they're like, oh man, bless sneaker something, or bless this event, like we sold something. I'm like, bro, I watched your table all day. You didn't sell it like more than 5 pairs. Like, what are you talking about? And then a lot of guys, like I saw a dude, and there's no hate to him, and I do
tag him, bro, at that motherfucker.
There's no hate, but he said he made a post and he said, yeah, I went to SneakerCon and I lost money, but I did it for the connections. And I'm like, that's the silliest thing I've ever heard. There's a
connections don't feed my kids.
And there is an importance in networking, but you can network and hustle. And I almost think networking is more beneficial when you're hustling. Cause like someone like you or me, people want to work with you more because they know you work hard. You know,
exactly.
You don't want to work with a guy who lost money to come out and hang out with his friends and get a nice dinner. It's just, it doesn't make sense to me.
No.
But maybe
we're not on the same wavelength.
Right. You know? Maybe he knows something we don't know though. You know what I mean? So kudos to him. I don't know,
bro. I don't know. Unless he met some NFL players and got season tickets or something. Now that's different.
You know, I've never watched a football game before.
What?
I swear. I've never watched a football game my whole life.
You don't like any sports though?
I'll hit you up in the post and fade up on you in some basketball.
Oh, you like basketball, huh?
I don't like watching it.
My favorite sport to play for sure.
I don't like watching it really. I was big when LeBron was on the Cavs and in the Miami Heat, but after that I stopped watching it.
I have forever loved basketball, man, in the game, but it's just like 4 teams that have all the people in the league, you know?
Yeah.
That shit won't happen in the NFL. It's a lot more parity.
Right.
It's sad, man. And look, once again, we interrupted your intro, bro.
Yeah. I forgot. I completely forgot.
We made it a little bit though.
Yeah, we got like 2 minutes in that time. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of the gist of it. And then more recently, I made a website and I focused on that for a good while, and it was doing really good. And then I got so busy traveling, I couldn't post on my website anymore, and I couldn't focus on like the hundreds of DMs I'm getting because all these pairs really, I'd honestly rather sell them to my bulk buyer, and he needs the pairs. And so it's like, we both eat and I want to help him, but at the same time, like if he dies one day, I got to be able to still sell shoes. You know what I mean? So I'm at this consistent conflict now of like, do I focus my time and energy on this part of the business or on this part of the business? Because right now I'm a B2B and B2C. And it's like, I have a hard time doing both because I don't have enough capital to do both. And so like, I'm consistently getting blown up. But so that's what I'm working on fixing now. I'm really trying to like change so I wanted to get a store, but I'm like, I've decided against that. I'm really trying to focus my time and energy on becoming, I hate to use the word influencer. That's stupid, but like, I hate
that word too, man.
I don't like it either. It's stupid because who are you?
Bad word. I understand the meaning of it that you're influencing people, but it's just.
It's not the right word I'm looking for, but like we talked about, I want to be the Gary Vee of sneakers. Because I also think like a lot of the guys that have this platform that is like blown up, for one, I think it's because there's not that many people in it and they've gotten lucky.
And they're
and they're trash. And like, you've got this audience and you've got so much opportunity to give them value and teach and entertain. And it's so boring, bro.
They know nothing. They literally been doing it. I like to call them, it's BC and AC, you know, before COVID and after COVID.
Resellers, right?
A lot of these cats showed up AC after COVID.
Yeah.
So they don't know a normal life before that, what it was like or what shoes were like, you know? So, I mean, I just find it hard to take people's advice that's been doing something for a year.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like if I walked into my classroom for college and it was a 9-year-old in there, I'm leaving.
Right.
You know?
That's I get that.
That's why I make it a point to kind of poke fun at it, because I think that it's funny. Like, I just think that it's funny, man. Buy my book type,
Right.
buy my book and learn how I did it by luck, or, did a few things right and it worked, and then it's never worked ever again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think I know who you're talking about.
Longevity. In the military, we say sustained superior performance. You got to do it for a long time.
Yeah.
Got to do it. You have to do it. You know that. You have to keep doing it because things change, trends change. You got to adapt and overcome. But I feel you on that. I love, like, bro, I'll be honest with you. I hate social media. I hate social media. I hate it with a passion, man. Like, I cut off my Facebook. I use Instagram because that's where I connect with people, and I do business on there quite a bit. But I have no problem just shutting it off for like a month and never looking at it, bro. I really do. If I'm losing dollars, I'm making them somewhere else by using my time, more efficiently.
Yeah.
I really do hate social media just because of what it's become.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's pretty sad, bro.
I agree. For me, it's like, and I'm sure for you too, it's kind of like, it feels like I never can put it down because that's my whole business. You know what I mean? So it's like, I can't just turn off, which was a problem that I had even in past relationships where like, I didn't know where the off button was on the business and like on everything. And so like, it just didn't stop. The train just didn't stop for me. And so that's something that like recently I had to learn was like part of my spirit wants to just be like, I don't want to talk to anyone and I don't want to spend a single dollar on anything. I just want to work and like never stop working. And then another part of me is like, well, I'm also going to die one day and I also want to enjoy my time. And so it's just like a struggle between both of those, like,
you on the right path, my brother. You on the right path, and you're far greater, ways ahead of most people.
Yeah.
I've been having with myself lately. I'm very bad at appreciating myself. I'm sure you can understand that.
Yeah. Well, you never feel like you're enough. You want to keep going
because you just see, so much more
potential.
Yes, exactly. You know where you could take it.
Yeah.
So every day that you're not there, it mess with you a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
I agree. So that's kind of my intro, my story. So let's hear yours. So where did you start? And go into the military thing, if you will, because it's kind of your brand. You know what I mean? The lace vet. Yeah, so like, how did you go from military to sneakers?
I kind of didn't go from military. Well, I mean, I did in the big scheme of things, but they kind of always were together there. You know what I'm saying? So I'll go back. My love for sneakers came from, and a lot of the older heads like myself, they would say the same, you have the same sentiment. My love for sneakers came from playing sports.
Okay.
So I played basketball, or, I played football. I played some baseball, not too much, but I loved Ken Griffey Jr. So I always wanted the Griffey Freshwaters. And we used to get the eBay magazine. Back in the day, we didn't have the internet. You know what I'm saying? I'm almost 40. So back in the day, we used to get the magazine in the mail, the East Bay magazine. And that was the only way. Can you hear me?
Yeah, sorry, this thing popped up.
Yeah, something popped up. Something had popped up. Said you upgraded it or whatever.
Okay. I think we're good. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so East Bay magazine was the only way that you could really see these sneakers. So we used to get, me and my buddies, we'd all get together when the new edition would come in the mail, and we would just foam at the mouth over, like the Airmore Up Tempo Pippins, pennies, the Griffies, a lot of the the older Jordans, white cement 3s, black cement 3s, stuff like that. So I always really had a love and an undying passion for sneakers. And something that really fueled it a lot for me, that still keeps me fueled to this day, especially to give it back to my kids, is that my parents didn't want to buy me nothing.
Yeah.
None of them. I mean, I understand it was expensive, and they probably weren't in the best place like that, so they never bought me any sneakers, literally ever. Like, when they would buy me sneakers, it was from Target or
right.
Walmart or whatever. So my first pair of sneakers, my dad was like, I'm going to get you something nice. And he got me a pair of these Converse, and it was like, it was nothing that you would ever have seen before. So I promised myself from then, I was like, it just fueled my passion to want it more. You know,
right.
when you can't get something, it just
right.
makes you want it so much more.
Rejection breeds obsession.
So as soon as I started young and I was hustling young, 12, 13, I was buying my own shoes by age 13. I was buying my own shoes, you know,
That's
somewhere
awesome.
around there. And back then it was Air Force Ones. Air Force Ones was cheap. So I was, you know, buying the shit out of those before Nelly fucked it up.
And where were you at?
I grew up in West Palm Beach, Florida.
Oh, word. That's what's up. Okay.
Yeah, I grew up in West Palm Beach, Florida. So, you know, I mean,
what was the culture? Like, what was the shoe down there? Like, I know New York's got the Timberlands and Forces thing and other places. Like, what was the thing?
It's kind of, you know, South Florida it's really like an outskirt of New York down there. And it's even more so nowadays. Yeah, because you got to think those New Yorkers, they retire up there. Where do they go? They go down there and retire. So then they're raising, they have some kids that they bring with them, you know, and they brought a lot of that culture with them. Yeah. And it goes with music as well. So I listen to a lot of music, you know, down there that came from New York.
And there's like the big Latina influence down there too.
Oh, yeah, for sure, man. So back in the day, I loved the Air Force Ones, bro. That was my shit. The mids, Air Force One mids with the little strap off. I had every color in them, man. So I joined the Navy. I was a piece of shit, doing bad, man, all fucked up in the streets. I joined the Navy at 19. And when I joined the Navy, I actually had steady flow of money coming in, obviously, right? And nothing really to spend it on other than booze and fucking Domino's pizza. So I, continued on buying the shoes, buying new shoes. And it just made, the fact that I never had them as a kid is just fueled me always, just that's how I ended up here, basically, So what I would do is we would go to the Navy exchange that we have on base, and you could get the shoes there they're tax-free, and they would always be like 30% off. So we would get like some white cement 4, I remember, for like $60, bro. Men's.
That's the crazy.
It would bring out, I remember it was like, what else? Flint 13s.
And what year is this?
This was 2005.
Okay.
2000. I joined the military in 2001.
Okay.
Right. So that's really when I really started.
I was born the year after you joined the military. Then that's crazy.
Way to make me feel old, my brother. So I would get the shoes, right, discounted, and because I loved the shoes so much, myself, to fuel my own addiction, we'll call it, right? Same thing I did, I used to do, with like if you smoked weed or whatever, you would sell some of it so that you could fuel your own habit, So I was doing the same thing with the shoes. I would pick up maybe 10 pairs of them, and then I would put the ones that I didn't want on eBay. eBay is where I really, really started at big time. That was where my first, big flow at reselling was from eBay way back in the day, man. Because you got to think eBay's been around since the 90s.
And then what year did you retire from the military?
Well, I continued selling, when I could, when I was in the Navy, but I would go out to sea all the time. I was leaving home all the time. I was barely ever home. But when I would pull in somewhere, I would always, shoes were always a part of it. One of the first things. So in 2012, I got out.
Okay. And what influence, like what things that you learned in the military, like, do you think reflected positively onto your entrepreneurial business mind? Like give me a few examples.
Well, for one, in the military, my job is a logistics specialist, right?
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
So you see where this is going. So it really gave me a great understanding about how all of the actual wheels spinning behind how the shoe gets from over there to you.
Mm-hmm.
And then also the finance side of it, because I was also in charge of keeping track of the finances from all the transactions. So I took a lot of that into my own shoe business, and that's how I run my shoe business the same way. And I have since the beginning of time, as far as like records keeping, receipt keeping, stuff like that most people wouldn't really think about.
So it gave you business
organization, so much organization, man. Yeah. I'm so organized because of it. because of it, just effortlessly. That's what the military did, is it made you you have to be organized in the military. If you're not, you could fall apart quick, man. So the organization, at first, when I first got out and I was really, really heavily, selling into it, I used to keep a log book where I wrote every shoe I sold in pen. That was a thing that we did in the Navy. But then I realized that it was obviously is not efficient, and I shifted over more towards like using spreadsheets, and things like that. So when I got out of the Navy, I really, it's around the time, like you're saying, the Nike basketball era. Around that time is when I would go to the mall in my local area here, and I would clean out the whole mall. I had pre-orders on eBay that I was doing. And I mean, I had built my account up huge on eBay, man. I was Sold Out Shoes. That was the name of my original store. SOLEDOUBT. And I had a ton of feedback on there. I was doing pre-orders, and I would do a pre-order for like the Raptor 7, and then the Raptor 7 would drop. I go to the mall, I clean them all out and ship them all out.
Fire shoe, by the way.
What's that?
Fire shoe, by the way. People hate on 7s, and I'm a personal 7 fanatic.
Yeah, no, 7s are not, dude. There's been some like the Flint 7. That one right now is one people are hating on, that I'm like, I actually like that. That was a Jordan that I had back in 2007 when it came out or whatever.
I will say though, it's possibly, like, once you see how it gets worn in, one of the worst quality Jordans I've ever seen. Like the new one.
Olympic 7 is another one. That one's fire too.
Olympic 7. I'm a big I love the cigar 7s. Big time. And then also because it was my first Jordan, and I still think it's clean, the French blue 7s. I love those. Yeah.
And obviously the Bordeaux 7 too is
Bordeaux 7s. What do you think about the 6s though? The Bordeaux 6s. Like, did you think that they were comparable?
I can't get enough of them.
For flipping them though. You're flipping them.
I want more.
I mean, as far as like looks go, what do you think?
I mean, if I didn't like the way they look, I wouldn't buy them.
Okay, yeah.
No, I love them. I think.
But do you think that shoe's going up?
I think most people, when you see that, I mean, it's at retail right now. It can't go down.
Yeah.
I've been buying them.
I don't know. Bel Air 5 2.0s were into retail for a long time.
That's an ugly fucking shoe, bro.
I don't know. It is ugly, but for me personally,
this is how I've always done it. Before there was apps or any of that stuff that could tell you what something was worth, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know how I did it? Right here.
Right.
When I look at a shoe, and I still carry it to this day, when I see a shoe, I know instantly, to me, whether I love it or not. And if I don't love it, 9 times out of 10, it's a piece of shit. And it's not going to do anything.
Yeah. So what did you think about, I'm a big like OG colorway guy. I love them. What did you think about this this number one, the Red Thunder 4s coming out, and those black military floors?
Those are dope.
You like them?
I think those are both going to do really well, man.
I agree they'll do well, but I wanted the military blues. I'm a little aggravated about that.
Yeah, I mean, that one's got to be coming though, because 4s are hot. I wouldn't be surprised if that one comes out again. And
a Thunder 4 I would really like, because you cannot even find them anymore.
Well, you know what, a 4 that I really loved, man, was the Mist Blue 4.
I just had a 10.5 like a few months ago. Yeah.
Mist Blue 4. And what else is another one I had? There was a women's Sand 4, I want to say.
Those are fire.
Those are
fire,
man.
Those are so
it's hard to find though. There's been so many nice 4s, man. 4s, 3s, 4s. I've been telling everybody in Flip Kitchen, my Discord, I've been telling everybody for a while now. 1s are on the way out.
3s, 4s on
Thursday. 3s, 4s, 5s. Those type of shoes, I could see that, because it still has 3s and 4s, especially. They still have that very vintage Jordan look that people.
And they've been dropping good colorways. Like really other shoes have been getting shitty colorways, but you saw those mocha black cement and white cement 3s coming out, bro. As much as I want a white cement and a black cement 3 retro, I'm just saying those things, I need 2 of each pair, because they look. It all started with the Amam and Years. Those things are so hard. My favorite, it's probably one of my favorite shoes of all time. I'm ready for the threes to start pumping out. I need a white cement 3 retro, but threes are going to take over, I think.
I've been saying that, bro. I think 3s, 4s, 5s, I could see that big time, man, because they still have the very vintage Mike
OG look.
Yep.
Yeah.
With the Nike Air on the back. I mean, like, you know what, a shoe that I've been buying the shit out of right now, actually, you said that, 3s, is the Racer Blue 3.
The white ones?
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
They're every 3 ever is always amazing, man. It's the same, like when the denim 3 came out, people still to this day would probably tell you that's a brick. I sell them for $350 regularly.
Okay, so right there, I want to ask. You went from selling primarily to customers into eBay. When did you make the switch to extreme consignment, and which I know you do, and how much of your business model now is consignment?
So I would say I wasn't really fond of the idea for a long time, but it wasn't that big you know, of a deal for the longest time. The only place that you can consign at before was Flight Club.
And that was just like extremely crazy.
Now you could throw a dart and pick a place in any state that you want, and you can do it.
All stores now do it.
I just I wanted to add more. So some years ago, I had added sending stuff to consignment, just because what was happening is that, you know, my family is, you know, we all work together in this business. So we couldn't take much time off from it because of that. So by shifting some of the business to consignment, it gave us some freedom to be able to leave and go if we had to go to Indiana where my wife's from, or go down to Florida where I'm from and spend time with family. Because before we would just leave and not make any money in the shoe business, right?
Right. So you were able to turn it a little bit passive, kind of, with work, extreme work, but streamline it, make it a little bit more easy on your back.
So what really changed my business though is, I would say 2000, when would this have been? The one era, the really hype, like people would say now is the one era.
You mean like shatter backboards and all that?
They don't know shit. The China era of ones was insane. They would have no idea. This one era is nothing like that was.
I don't even know because I wasn't around.
You could have bought any one. It didn't matter if it literally could have had shit stains on it, and it would have been $300.
And what, like, give me an example of colorways that you're talking about.
Back then, so we're trying to see.
What year are we talking?
That was when the turbo greens dropped. 2017, probably.
Okay.
2017, I would say, right?
Yeah.
Sounds about. You know what? Let me look.
I think it might have been a year or two after that.
Yeah, 2017, something like that. I think that was around. That was when China was really hyped for the ones. So what I did was I started holding the shoes. You know, I hadn't always been holding and holding and holding. I would hold stuff that I loved, but I wasn't holding like a quantity of something that.
But when turbos came out, you saw them and you saw this thing going on in China. Like what gave you this idea to hold, and like what made you think this shoe is going to go up in value? Because it's at one point that wasn't really like a common idea that people had.
No, but it's not. But you know what's funny though is that I always have held shoes. You know, and that's what I'm saying. In some facet or another, I have always held, but it would only be like, you know, I love the Gamma 11 when it came out. I bought like, you know, every grade school that was in this area, you know, and I just would hold on to them for, you know, maybe 7 months or something. And then somebody would buy them all off of me, you know? So I always have kind of had that concept, but when the China era hit, it was like you couldn't miss.
And what exactly do you mean China era? Like, what did you see that made you?
China era. When I'm saying that, I'm saying like 2016 to 2018 is probably when.
But like, what specifically was happening in China is what I'm asking.
China was hype on the Jordans.
So just the culture then was like, that's what we like right now, and you saw that. And so, how did you sell them? Because in America, the ones still weren't going for anything yet. Like I remember
ones like a side, like that's the thing is back then that time a one would release and everyone wanted the size 8 through 9.5, right? Yeah. Because in China, that's all they wear. So back then a size 12 and a 1 was less than retail, bro. They were sitting on the shelf everywhere.
So were you holding those, or were you just focusing on the smaller sizes?
I was focusing on the smaller sizes.
Okay.
So the turbo green, this is funny though. The turbo green, what I did was I had got a new card, right? A new credit card. And it had, I think it was like 50,000 limit on it. I went through like most of it buying turbo greens. Just
and how did you,
what's that?
How did you source that many pairs? Because everyone was going for the smaller sizes.
No, but I bought them for resale, bro.
Oh, okay.
I bought them for resale. I was just slapping the ask on StockX or GOAT or whatever, you know, and I was buying it because what happened with the turbo green specifically is that one, it dropped, right? It came out and the value was like way up. The demand was crazy. And that's what made me really like it. Demand was going crazy for it. And then they restocked it and the price dropped like 60 or 70%, right? So when it dropped down to $200, I bought in. That's when I was buying them up. Like I was at work, right? I was a supervisor for the government, right? That's what I was doing in the government. After I got out of the military, I also worked that job. So while I was working that, I was hustling the shoes, right? I was sitting at work this day when the price dropped on the restock and I was buying them left and right. And then all the pairs showed up and I had like, I mean, think about it. I had like a few hundred of them or something, I want to say, all grade school only, no men's. And I held them just for a few months and obviously they blew up.
Yeah.
You know?
When I think back to a shoe that like you can like pinpoint the Jordan 1 like switch, like that's the shoe that I think of. When I think of like something that didn't go for anything and then just insane straight to the moon, it's that shoe.
It was beautiful too. That was the thing. Like I said, it was one of them shoes that like, because other ones had come out, but they didn't have that look to it like that. It had a very like a unique look to it, that weathered look with a little bit of font on the side, kind of like an off-white vibe.
Because they dropped the neutral gray crimson ones with those. But the problem with that pair, in my opinion, was that could have been a fire shoe, but they had the black mid panel on it. Yep. And that made it trash because that shoe did. I mean, it goes for like 300 now, but it's nowhere near what the hype of turbos is.
It could have been. I mean, turbos, man, it's crazy.
It's my favorite Jordan 1 of all time. And
I still had pairs of them till not too long ago. Like I want to say in the midst of COVID, I sold off like the rest of them that I had. But
like the tens or 50s or hundreds of pairs. Like how many are we talking?
I had a few hundred pairs. Yeah.
That's insane, man.
I had a few hundred pairs, and what I was doing basically was like scaling them out as the price was going crazy. I was buying them for 200 something, and they hit 350. I sold some of them. They hit 4 something. I sold some of them, and then by the end they were 500. I was like, "Fuck it, that's enough, man.
Yeah.
Get out."
So I think we're passing an hour, but I want to also ask you another similar hold and flip value wise that you got like that was Black Cat 4s, right?
Dude, that was a great one, man.
So talk about that one.
So the Black Cat 4s, a big part of my business, and when I tell people this, they don't realize that this is a thing. A big part of my business forever has been going inside Foot Locker stores and using their store locate system to find stuff that's sitting on shelves. That's what I've done since the beginning of time. I did it so much that when I walked in the store, my local one, they just turned the computer around and gave it to me so they didn't have to help me.
And is that a thing today that still is?
It still is out store. You can still store locate. Like, I mean, if you go on the website, Bordeaux 6s are sitting on Foot Locker. If you go in there, you can pull the barcode down from it and you can walk in the store and say, hey, I want to order these. And they can locate them for you still, But
so what you were doing was finding them and then going and buying in person.
No. You can buy them through the locate system.
Okay. And then they would just get shipped to you.
Dude, we'll talk about this on more episodes because like I said, it is a big part of my business for many years. I mean, there's been any release I can think of, I could end up with hundreds of pairs of it because of doing this.
And how many pairs did you end up with, the Black Cats?
Oh, dude.
Over time.
So I was going in the store every day to Foot Action, to Champs, to Foot Locker, and I would order about maybe $4,000 or $5,000 worth of men's pairs. And I was getting them at the time. I was getting them because it was in Rhode Island, it's tax-free. and I got military discount on all of them. So I was paying $150 for every one out the door, $150, right? And bro, listen, I told people on my Instagram nonstop. I said, look,
you got military too?
Bro, military, and that's another part of my business throughout the years. I've got military for a long time until they started hating on me.
They started shutting that down.
Well, I mean, long before they actually changed the policy, they were always hating on me because my discount is not much different than theirs, you know?
It's big, especially with the no tax thing, bro. That's crazy. So, you could have been flipping them for retail and making good margins.
Black Cat 4, no lie, I had between grade school men's 500 pairs, something like that.
And I mean, okay, so at what point when they hit, like, what was their number at when you started dumping them?
Man, listen, I paid $150, right? So at first when they came out, you know, people were sleeping on them. You know,
they sat in my stores.
But you have to understand though, just like, and this is what I'm stressing to my group right now, at that time in February when they released, that's a slow retail time, just like it is right now. So nobody was buying them like that. But when tax time hit right after that, the demand sent them crazy, right? So it's all about timing. That's why I'm buying stuff up right now, because at Christmas time,
the best time you can get it for
Christmas
cheap.
time, people are going to want the Bordeaux 6, the Utility 12, the Racer Blue 3, the Electric Green 6. All of these shoes that are worth not much right now, they'll be big then. So the Black Cat, bro, when the price went up to about, I want to say they went to 300 quickly, you know? So I was scaling them out. In the grade school, I paid $110, I want to say, for each of the grade school. Those went up to 300 very quickly. So I was selling, and then I started sending a lot of them out to like Flight Club and stuff. It was one of the better licks that I ever had.
Did you regret selling them though because of what they went to? I mean, they went to like 700, bro.
Bro, but you have to remember this. This is what I tell guys in the group for stocks wise, right? Yeah. You're never going to time the top and you're never going to time the bottom.
Because you're not a genie. So you got out lucky because you could have
done. And it's not worth, and I've learned over the years, it's not worth the effort for me to try to do that. You know, It's better if I just look at it and say, look, I paid $150. They're $320 now. I'm going to make 100% profit. I'm a fucking idiot if I'm not taking some of that off.
And okay, maybe you, no one else thought that shoe, even if it was you could have seen it going to 300, but no one thought it was going to go to 7.
No
one. And that's crazy.
It's unrealistic.
It has to be market manipulation.
Black Cat showed me how hot black is, though. Black is hot.
Yeah.
Hot.
I'm surprised Jubilee 11s don't go for more than they do.
11s just died, man.
They were the shoe though for many years.
Oh, for sure, bro.
Like I remember the first time I saw a Concord 11 on someone's foot in like 2014. I was like, Mom, look at that guy's shoes. Like it was my screensaver on my phone before I had Jordans. Like that's what the 11s were. And then I think probably around the platinum tint, when like 96, when like 82 is when I think they just died because they retroed the Space Jams.
They oversaturated it. They tried to come out with the platinum tint, not even at Christmas time. You know what I'm saying? It was like anytime, but that happens with shoes always. When they oversaturate it, they die because we want exclusive shit.
That's ones now.
We don't want something that's it's on every shelf and on everyone's foot. We want, exclusive. That's why the off-white concept, that's why these other concepts, they work so well.
Yeah. Okay, so I think we're past the hour.
This was awesome, man.
This is fire. This is going to be, I have a good feeling about this.
Yo, this is going to be so much fun, man. It's going to be a lot of value to people. We'll loosen up a lot more too. It'll be more comical.
Yeah, right. I agree with that because I agree. But I had a blast. I think we had a good talk. Next episode, you and me, between now and then, we're going to come up with some real deal, actual things to cover to give a little bit more value than just kind of a sneaker conversation like we had today. But I had a lot of fun and I appreciate it. This is our first episode, I think.
And people watching, please, if you guys have ideas, something you want us to talk about, reach out to one of us and let us know and we'll include it.
All right. Well, hey, everyone watching on YouTube right now, please, if you enjoyed anything in today's video, make sure to go ahead and leave a like, comment down below, like Sean said, some other ideas that you guys want to hear us talk about, whether it be finances, sneakers, taxes, you name it. We'll talk about it, and we will see you guys in the next episode.
Hump day!
Peace out, everybody.